Well, good morning. Almost good afternoon. All right, so I'm Chuck Vandervenet, emceeing today. Again, I'm glad to be here at this 39th annual Woodstock Folk Festival. And it's hard to believe it's been that many, but there have been people here in this room that in this venue that have been here for most of those along the way, and we appreciate that. And those of you who are newer to the scene, we appreciate you coming and being part of the community. We're here in the National Trust for Historic Preservation's distinctive destination. And today, what's distinctive about it is we're all here to celebrate music.
My co-host.
Thank
Glad to
you.
have you here. Welcome,
Whew.
Marilyn Ray Beyer. You know her voice from Folk Stage and from Midnight Special, WFMT. Now you see her in person.
Great to see you,
Nice to see
Chuck.
you as well.
Hi.
And it's her job to announce the performers. I'm going to turn this over to you right now.
Thank you. And thanks for everybody for being here. And thank you to the Heavens for cooperating in such a beautiful day. Well, it's just I think, one of the finest lineups we've had in many years. And it's perfect to begin it with three people who do so much to build community, to build love of music, and to create harmony for all of us. They are the inimitable Sue Fink, the legendary Patty Schaffner, and from Amy Dixon Kohler, another woman with three names. Beautiful voices, ready to kick off the festival. Take it away, Song Sisters.
Thanks very much. So this first song, did you know that there was a date palm seed that was 2,000 years old that was found and they planted it and it grew? So how long can something stay dormant before it grows? Perhaps a long time. I'm not sure. This is ready. I hold a seed in my hand, it looks like a heart, with a seam down the middle that keeps it together. That's where it breaks apart. You put the seed in the ground and you ask it to die, so a new life can start and reach up toward the sky. Oh, and it's ready. It will grow when it's ready. So you say that your life's been shattered. You're sitting alone in the dark. Can't find your direction. You've lost your spark. Well, let me tell you, all things in their time will grow. Some a little faster, some moving slow. Oh, when they're ready, they will grow. When they're ready, have a little patience, take your time. The wheel's gonna turn and you'll be fine. Everything you need is right behind you. Oh, ready. Well, the wisdom of the seed is that it remembers all that it used to be. A sprout, a leaf, a bud, a flower, a fruit, a tree. And you best believe that the same is true for you and me. All you were, all you are becoming from a seed. Oh, when you're when we're ready. When we're ready. Ready. Thank you.
I'm Chicago Sue Fink. There's another Sue Fink singer-songwriter from LA, and I am not her. I am from Chicago, and I'm a singer-songwriter and part of Song Sisters, who've been playing today.
Excellent. Sue, what is the first musical memory that you have that comes to mind?
I have several. The first is I was about 2 years old, sitting on the floor in my parents' apartment, and they were dancing to Israeli folk music. And then I heard my dad say, "Oh, we forgot about Susie." The room had gotten dark, and they were busy dancing, and I went, "Ah!" because I realized they'd forgotten about me, but I loved the music.
Nice.
The second was in, like, I won't tell you what grade, but I'm getting on the school bus, and I'm like, "Did you guys hear that song that played?" You know, you'd have a radio alarm clock, and it was Your Song by Elton John. I was like, "Oh my God." And music has just always been visceral. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk cicadas a little. So this year was a little unique. We just had a huge encounter with cicadas. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with cicadas and how they've impacted your music.
In 2016, the cicadas that year were particularly loud. I went out and I recorded them. Now, those were just the annuals. I didn't know that. And I wrote 2 songs, which I call my Cicada Suite. Then in 2021, Brood 10 was coming out only on the East Coast. I didn't realize that. And so I had my friend Rebecca design a cicada-shaped flash drive that has my Cicada Suite, both songs. I got them professionally recorded. Don't Berate a Cicada, which is a jazzy factoid number of cicadas things, factoids, and then Hymn of the Cicada from the cicada's point of view, which we sing today. So this year, to commemorate Brood 19 and Brood, 13. 13 was the 17-year cicada, Brood 19 was the 17-year cicada, both coming out, which is a 221-year thing that they both come out at the same time. So I created cicada deflector caps and hats that say "Don't Berate a Cicada," and they deflect. So if the cicadas, which are kind of clumsy, like fall on you or pee on you, the caps will deflect the cicadas.
Love it.
So yeah, I like
Kids in the audience today, what would your advice be to the next generation coming up here?
I'm probably don't do what I did. I don't know. I just came to it kind of late. I think just enjoy it. If you like music, sing and play and just feel it.
Yeah. Very nice.
Not much else you can do.
Let me just take festivals like this as opposed to other kinds of venues that you might play at.
Well, you're outside, you're meeting totally new people, you're seeing your old friends, so it's new and it's old, it's relaxed, it's exciting, the sound is great.
Do you do anything different to prepare for something like this as far as getting ready for a festival, or is it pretty much like any other?
I think you just have to really practice your songs and know what you're doing, and then sit back and relax. Kind of. I say that I'm not really relaxed while I'm up there. I relax.
Right, once you're done. Very good.
Yeah.
Please welcome Lily Kuzma and Marilyn Ray Byer.
Let's hear it one more time for the Song Sisters singing with one voice, right? Amy and Patty and Sue, thank you for singing to our souls. Marilyn Ray Byer here from WFMT, and you know very well that WDCB is the place for a folk festival every week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Somebody who has not only played the music, the recorded music of so many people who we love to listen to, but she is also the go-to live interview gal and somebody who I respect so, so very much. I just want to thank you for being here every week. Lily
Thank you,
Kuzma.
Marilyn.
Lily, take it away.
Thank you. Thanks, Marilyn. Isn't Marilyn fantastic? And the Song Sisters, I love the Song Sisters. Individually, Sue Fink, Amy Dixon Kohler, and Patty Schaffner, but together, pure magic. I had them on the show Tuesday night, along with the next artist, Brittany Jean. And Carol asked me if I would introduce Brittany Jean to the stage. She is a young but very accomplished singer and songwriter. She has released now 6 albums, counting the new one, Golden Hour, and an EP called Lightfoot. And before I got to know her, I thought, boy, this really young person doing all this Gordon Lightfoot material, that's a little intriguing. But I filled in that blank Tuesday night. Her lovely parents joined us in studio, and I found out that her mother is an accomplished and exceptional pianist who also taught Brittany Jean piano, her first instrument, and her father, Jim, introduced her to the suggestion of playing guitar. He has a voluminous record collection, the likes of Paul Simon, Gordon Lightfoot, Emmylou Harris, all the great songwriters. So that's what she grew up with. And he suggested to her at some point that she should learn guitar because that's what a young Gordon Lightfoot did after playing jazz piano. Brittany Jean, not Britney Spears, Brittany Jean, was here until about 10 years ago. Then she and her family relocated to the Pacific Northwest. She's a lover of nature, and you'll hear that in a lot of her songs. She does great covers, lots of Gordon Lightfoot, and her own song about Gordon Lightfoot. She has performed at the Bluebird Cafe in Nashville. She's performed at Kerrville. She was a finalist in the John Lennon Songwriting Competition and also a finalist in the International Acoustic Music Song Competition. She has a lovely voice and great songs. Let's give her a really warm welcome. Brittany Jean.
Thank you, Lily. Wow, thank you very much. I am so thrilled to be here and happy to see you all. I am going to sing a couple of my own songs today, but I'll also be singing some familiar favorites that I love. And if you hear anything today that you feel like singing along to, feel free to do so. I always love that. A couple years ago, I was in Northern California to see the Redwood Forest, a place I've always wanted to see. And since we were so close, we drove a little farther south to Point Reyes Park, and we went on a 14-mile hike to Alamir Falls. And something kind of unique about Alamir Falls is it's a tide fall, which means during high tide, it falls right into the ocean. So kind of a special, unique place. But the hike is just up and down mountains, and then the last mile is on the beach, and so my legs were so tired, and I had this feeling I really wanted to say, you guys go ahead. I think I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna turn around. You meet me back at the car. But then we could see the waterfall, and it was beautiful. Very much worth the hike, which was wonderful, but it was also quite a relief because I had already written Alamir Falls into a song. Any songwriters here today, I don't necessarily recommend writing that way. It's a little bit backwards, but I think it worked out for this in this instance. This is a song all about and for that person or those people who, as soon as they walk into a room, everything is golden, everything is beautiful and bright, and they might not even know that they're doing it. This is Golden Hour. I can tell when you're smiling on the phone, you said the lighthouse, meet me at daybreak. If you were a time of year, I'd call you September when the trees change. So this morning, we are somewhere on the coast and I surrender to this runaway train. If you were a time of day, I'd know you forever at sunrise. Is that strange? When everything is red and golden, wearing my best dress, I'm holding my breath in a field of 1,000 sunflowers. Oh, honey, you are golden. Golden, golden, you are golden hour. find Alamere Falls by sunset. If you were a time of year, I'd call you September when the trees change. This yellow raincoat has been tied around me, dear, since the day we met, and I haven't worn it yet. If you were a time of day, I'd know you forever at sundown. When everything is red and golden, wearing my best dress, I'm holding my breath in a field of 1,000 sunflowers. Oh, honey, you are golden, golden, golden. You are golden now, golden, golden. You are golden now. Well, maybe every fool believes it, and maybe I'm a fool for you. Oh, maybe every fool believes, but I know it. You are golden, golden. When everything is red and gold, wearing my best dress, I'm frozen with you in a field of 1,000 sunflowers. Oh, honey, you are golden, golden, golden. You are golden now, golden, golden. You are golden now, golden, golden, golden hour, golden, golden. You are golden.
All of these people make it possible to continue presenting folk music. And then there are people who come in from out of town, like Texas. Who's here who's a fan of Texas songwriters in general? Yeah. Well, you know what? You have among the finest caliber songwriters from Texas or anywhere in the house right now. And he's got a new album called Sparrow that will have you singing, and you know, you'll be singing like a bird. You might even find him irresistible. His name is Jeff Talmadge, and he's been standing patiently ready to sing to you. Jeff Talmadge on stage at the Woodstock Folk Festival.
Here we go. If I was a sparrow, I'd fly back from where I came. And if I was a sparrow, I would fly back from where I came. I wouldn't care if it's on a soft breeze or the northbound side of a hurricane. And once I knew a woman, she loved me like the summer loves the sun. Once I knew a woman, she loved me like the summer loves the sun. She promised she would be there as long as the stars still shine and the rivers run. And if I was a sailor, I'd search the seven seas. And if I was a sailor, I guess I'd search the seven seas. Hoping maybe someday I'd find her sailing back to me. And sometimes when the storm is coming, I hear her name on the wind. And sometimes when the storm is coming, hear her name on the wind. I wish I could say different, but I have to say I'd do it all again. And a wise man once told me, you won't forget that woman's touch. And a wise old man once told me, you won't forget that woman's touch. You can always tell a young man, but I guess it's true, you just can't tell him much. And if I was a sparrow, I'd fly back from where I came. And if I was a sparrow, I would fly back from where I came. I wouldn't care if it's on a soft breeze or the northbound side of a hurricane.
Well, we've got Claudia Russell and Bruce Kaplan, who are from Northern California, and Katie Dahl and Rich Higdon, who are from Door County, Wisconsin. But when they get together, it's just like they've been together every minute in the interim. I fell in love with these two people, and we don't see each other very often,
No,
but when
that's
we
for
do,
sure.
it's as if no time has passed.
It's a love fest.
And who did they introduce me to but Katie Dahl? So when I came to Chicago, I was all ready to be a Katie Dahl fan. I mean, right? And why else are you here than to become fans
I
of
love that.
this very special friendship? It's Rich Higdon, Katie Dahl, Bruce Kaplan, Claudia Russell, and what do we call them when they get together? Paper birds.
This is just a song about being a little kid, because I just like writing about that kind of stuff. And it's called Pirate Girls, and it's a summer song, and it's for all the pirate girls, which there's no gender to being a pirate girl. So you could all invite it to be a pirate girl. In the summer of 1963, I wasn't the me I was yet to be. My days were filled with fun and sun and running. The world was as big as the whole backyard. If times were tough, they never felt hard. I thought everyone had pancake supper Thursdays. The screen door banged 1,000 times a day, and my mom would yell, "Just stay out there and play." In her grown-up way, she knew this time wouldn't last forever. We were so bright, we were so young. The harder parts had not begun. If there were troubles, they weren't ours to care. We were running through the sprinklers in our underwear. See, I told you. Ollie, ollie, ox, and free, free, free. We both tried to fit behind that tree. There was only room for one, so you'd let me have it. The best of friends against the world. We were gonna be pirates, pirate girls, 'cause they had all the fun, and we both knew it. We were so light, we were so young. The harder parts had not begun. If there were troubles, they weren't ours to care. We were running through the sprinklers in our underwear. Sounds good to me. Let's go, Bruce. Tomorrow still seems so far away, and all we did was play, play, play much simpler games. The moving van went rolling by. Your dad bought us ice cream one last time. We laughed and used those popsicles like lipsticks. Then dusk slowed the day to a crawl. We played catch till you couldn't see the ball, and my mom called and I begged for just 5 more minutes. We were so bright, we were so young. The harder parts had not begun. If there were troubles, they weren't ours to care. We're running through the sprinklers in our underwear. If there were troubles, they weren't ours to care. We're running through those sprinklers in our underwear. Thanks so much, everybody.
So I want to go back to that question about who to bring next year. Here is a concept that I just used with my extended Italian family. The Zerantes, the Mancinis, and the Ray family, and the Di Fioris. We found a festival, an Italian festival that was taking place on the same weekend we used to have our family reunions, but everybody kind of fizzled out on the family reunion. It was too much planning. We let the festival do the planning for us, and we just all showed up, 20-some of us. So if you've got a circle of friends, or maybe just your mahjong group, I don't know, your old bowling league from when you worked in the mill, and you want to get together, but nobody wants to do that planning at their house or rent a hall, just come to the Woodstock Folk Festival. Come on. So I will be expecting to see many families suggested by our young audience member. So please do come back, and you can come to things throughout the year. The Woodstock Folk Festival concerts, you can find all kinds of Festival events at woodstockfolkfestival.org. There's off-square music. There's so many events, music events that happen here. And you can always check realwoodstock.com. Well, you know, if anybody here from Ottawa, Illinois? Is there anybody here from Ottawa? It's about 80 miles away. Well, we've got somebody who's from Ottawa, Ontario, 800 miles away. And I want to tell you, because Carol is so smart about who she hires for the Woodstock Folk Festival, I kind of knew the name Lynn Hanson, and I probably knew one or two songs from, you know, past years. But I got to dig in to the catalog of Lynn Hanson. They call her the Americana Queen of Canada. But it's not the jangly, okay, I've heard it 1,000 times before kind of Americana. It's Americana with poetry at its core. In fact, Lynn's newest album is called Just a Poet, but she is so much more than that. Lynn Hanson.
Well, I'm tuning my guitar down, which in the before times meant that I was going to play a murder ballad. I actually have an entire record of murder ballads called 7 Deadly Spins. But instead I'm going to play a song called Higher Ground. I've been a lover, I've been a leaver, I like fate, been a true believer in what I learned. You wanna get to heaven, gotta take the higher ground. I've been a winner, I've been a loser, I've accepted, been a refuser. What I learned, you wanna get to heaven, gotta take the high ground. Fear will break in, take the higher ground. Fear heart aching, take the higher ground. Fear soul shaking, take the higher ground. I've been different, I've been the same. I sought forgiveness, I handed out blame. And what I learned, you wanna get to heaven, gotta take the higher ground. Fear will break in, take the higher ground. Fear heart aching, take the higher ground. Fear soul shaking, take the higher ground. I felt pure joy, nothing but pain. Seen a silver lining, I felt it rain and rain. And what I learned, you wanna get to heaven, gotta take the higher ground. Fear will break in, take the higher ground. Fear heart aching, take the higher ground. Fear soul shaking, take the higher ground. Thank you very much. My first musical memory is me playing this little air organ that we had in my house. And it was this thing that had numbers on it. And I used to play this song called, what was it called now?
Which Way You Goin', Billy? That was what it was called, Which Way You Goin', Billy? So I have a whole bunch of older brothers and sisters. They're a lot older than I am. And so they used to let me listen to their record collections, and I got obsessed when I was about 4. I got obsessed with this song, and so I would play this song over and over again for hours. I must have drove the entire house crazy because I literally would play for it for like 3 or 4 hours. I would just play that same song over and over again, and that is my earliest musical performance memory.
Awesome. What do you like about doing festivals like this as opposed to other kind of venues?
Oh, festivals are wonderful just because you get to meet a whole bunch of other musicians for one thing, which is great. So you get to hang out with your community. And the other thing too is just the audiences. I mean, festival audiences are fantastic. You just they are very accepting. You know, if you're on the lineup, they're there to listen. And so it's just a really positive experience. There's nothing bad about playing festivals. So hire me for your festival.
Awesome. How would you describe the power of music, of song?
Oh, I think songs have an ability to connect with people and bring them together. I mean, there is nothing more magical than being in the room with an audience and listening to a songwriter and just connecting with the words and the message that's in that song, but doing it together as a group. I think there's a lot of power in that, and I think it creates a lot of positivity. And so I think music really is a healing thing.
Very nice.
When we did the 100th anniversary of the National Barn Dance, I don't know if any of you caught that. That was an amazing show. I saw them. I was talking to Carol, and she said, you know, I'd really like to have something different. And I said, call up Los Gallos. So we're so happy that you're here for the whole set. Los Gallos, ladies and gentlemen, kids, people, and fans of all ages, this is going to be something for you. Get ready. Remember those dance moves? I'm ready.
Thousand miles left to go, hoping for you at the end of the road. Feels like this road will never end, just as the sunlight begins to fade. It's getting harder to try and drive. Dizzy lines twist and turn, swaying grain, it seems to howl at me. Smack my cheek, letting cold hair to fight the warm, soft hands of rest. It's getting harder to try and drive. Blue, so blue, all is blue without you. Blue, so blue, everlasting without you. So blue, everlasting without you. 1,000 miles left to go, hoping for you at the end of the road. Feels like this road will never end, just as the sunlight begins to fade. Getting harder to try and drive. It's getting harder to try and drive. It's getting Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Woodstock Folk Festival open mic.
Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you away, rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you away. We're bound away across the wide Missouri. I'll go ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 da. Allons enfants de la patrie, au rythme de la liberté. On amplifie notre joie de vivre quand on s'invite pour danser. L'argent, on laisse ça aux autres, aux vieux bourgeois et aux vieux porcs. On trinque de nos verres à la vôtre et on répète l'affaire encore. Allons enfants de la batterie, cocktail citron, arôme de mangue. L'échange culturel favori, c'est quand on baise en deux langues.
Late in the evening, sun shining bright. Last thing I see is you every night, and you make it easy. You treat me so kind. I said you make it easy. You treat me so kind.
Now it's my great pleasure to introduce David Callan. And I first heard David through the Off-Square Music virtual open mics that happen every Saturday night. I encourage you to tune in. And Off-Square Music is responsible for all of our sound today here and across at the main stage. And then I've had the pleasure of seeing him in person a number of times. And a few months ago, he mentioned that he was going to be giving up his day job and pursuing music full time. He's been living through a number of health challenges, and I think some of his music reflects that. He said he was going to be working on a CD, and I said, any chance you can have that ready so we can celebrate that at the festival? And he said, yeah, I'll work on that. And so we are thrilled that David has a CD coming out, and we want to celebrate that today. And we have a special certificate to David for that. And we're also celebrating by having some cupcakes. So please help yourself to cupcakes in the back and give a very special and warm Woodstock welcome to David Callan.
Yeah.
Steve is a friend of mine and produced the record, and so he's kindly agreed to come up and play a little bit with me. Maria had 2 chicas, 10 and 12 colelas. Father died by the hand of a pandiero, fixing ties for Tenkitzell and Mazatelegro. That's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago. Since then each day was fear, the cartel was near. Armando's fate would seem merciful. She knew the girls would face the worst mile. That's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago. 23,000 souls, every single one with holes, faces, shoulder, toes. That's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago. Well, she knew she had to leave, a bottle of water each, shirts on their backs atop the trains they go, with no reason to hope, blistering sun to go. That's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago. The pain was intense, survival and instinct, one every mother has kept deep. She prayed for God their souls to keep to the Topia and lives were cheap. And that's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago. Texas in the dead of night, and she don't want to fight. 36 hours and the meal was alright. On the wrong side of town, to a shelter to settle down. And that's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago. Cleaning here and there, ain't easy for them away. Ain't nothing free, ain't nothing fair. Another day is worth the wait. Another day is worth the prayer. And that's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago. 23,000 souls, every single one with holes, faces, shoulder, toes. That's how Maria Moreno come by Chicago.
All right. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce our workshop leader today. Let's give a big round of applause to Robin Lee Garber, everybody.
Coraline, you're an expert in life and disaster. You believe that what's happy comes after all the tears, love, and work for your dreams. You'll combine them so the sun will still shine just for Coraline, just like for you, Coraline. All the fragile things you keep close to your heart in the past, to hide them's no good to you now. Only the brave will last. But look to the stars and they'll show you how to fly from the ash. Hey, rise up and start singing. Rise up and keep singing. Rise up singing. Coraline, and all the fragile things you keep close to your heart in the past. To hide them's no good to you now, only the brave will last. But look to the stars and they'll show you how to fly from the edge. Yeah, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, oh, rise up, rise up. It's been a few years since we last spoke, and all that I had was fear and hope. I know hope's not a strategy, but I survived a love ill-contrived. Yeah, I grew and I thrived, leaning into my own gravity. Oh, and all the fragile things you keep close to your heart in the past. To hide them's no good to you now, only the brave will last. But look to the stars and they'll show you how to fly from the edge. Yeah, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, oh, rise up, singing.
As well. This year, we present the Woody Award to Annie Capps. Annie is an outstanding singer, songwriter, whether performing solo or with her husband Rod and mandolin player Jason Denny, as she is here today. Her songs will touch you and draw you in. In addition to her 35-plus year career as a performing artist, Michigan-based Annie Capps has made a name for herself as a community organizer and instigator behind a number of songwriting groups and collaboratives in Southeast Michigan, as well as a leading force behind the Folk Alliance Region Midwest, often known as FARM, where she served on the board and as president from 2009 to 2012, and more recently as conference director 2018 to 2022. She was a driving force behind the FARM peer sessions and tech talks that began during the pandemic and continue to the present. She also runs a concert series called On the Track Songwriter Showcase. In addition to receiving the festival's Woody Award, Annie will perform with her husband Rod and mandolin player Jason Denny. They've performed at house concerts, in coffee houses, and at festivals in Michigan and beyond. She and Rod have done it all, from hard rock to musical theater. Tim Piazza of Concerts at the Cabin in Evansville, Indiana said, "When I look around the room at an Annie and Rod Capps performance, I see a lot of smiling faces with eyes riveted on the stage. There is a magic that energizes an audience. I can't wait to bring them back to our concert series." Since 2006, Jason Denny has played an essential role in the Annie and Rod Capps band. He's been praised for his wildly creative mandolin and instinctive harmony. It is with great pleasure that I now present this year's Woody Award to Annie Capps. Congratulations, and thank you for everything you do.
You're a sweetheart. Thank you so much.
Rod and I, as I mentioned, have been together for a long time, and we thought we were in this place which was pretty amazing, and we were living in this house in a little town of Chelsea, just a little outside of town, and this 2 acres, and it was surrounded by state land and little things like the target shooting that would go on across the street. I could learn to live with because I had this beautiful swamp up front that just made me so happy, and this beautiful dirt road that was great until the trucks would come barreling down when I was trying to have a nice walk and the dust would blow up in my face. But overall, it was an incredible place to live, and we loved it, and we thought we were going to be there forever. And as things happen, we had to leave, and we downsized and a lot. Got rid of a lot of things and went through a lot in that process. Anybody who's had to move knows that it can be strenuous. But I think we ultimately realized that wherever we land, as long as we're with each other, we're okay. So here's to that. And water.
August paints poetic storm clouds in the sky, and far off in the distance, hound dogs bellow high. There's gravel underneath, laughing leaves above my head, and eager hunters filling up my peaceful air with lead. It's time to blaze a trail to something new, somewhere I can go to find my truth. Weeping willow branches wait in nature's tune, and they're reaching out to bless me on this aging afternoon. Along come the truck wheels, spitting stones and dust, bumper sticker proudly boasting, in God we trust. Still not sure what I believe, but I'm praying for the strength to breathe. Oh, walking through. Oh, I'm walking through. The wind picks up and all at once rain comes pouring down, delivering baptism on this fleeting holy ground. Across the way, a sweet old mare is running for the barn. In a heartbeat, it's all over, and we have to leave the farm. My, how the time does fly, and it never even says goodbye. Dusty road has gone to pavement now, and strangers from the city are living in that house. But easy come and easy lose what is not ours to keep. But as long as I'm with you, it doesn't matter where I sleep. Never mind the bumps and bruises, there's time enough for walking through this. Walking through. Oh, I'm walking through. Walking through.
Thanks very much, everyone.
We're Annie and Rod Capps, and this is Jason Denny, and he is our bandmate of 18
years.
18 years at least, something like that.
We're from Washtenaw County, Ann Arbor area, basically, in Michigan.
Michigan, all the way to our summer. Yeah.
All right.
I can't remember singing it.
Oh gosh. We had this conversation because I like to start with my mother, who taught me piano when I was a young kid, even though I didn't keep playing, and taught me about all kinds of music. Both my parents were music lovers, but my influences change over the years. So right now, he's my biggest influence. I could list off a ton of
Festivals like this compared to other more traditional venues.
The size of it and the fact that it's open air and the sort of coming together. This one in particular, being in a square like this, just it just emphasizes community, and that's really what it's about. That's what the music is about.
Bigger chance to play to more people, and also to hear other artists, right? Because there's always more artists on the bill. And so
It's always a multi-bill.
exposure to great people. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're guaranteed to hear someone you've not heard before, and walk away having to have their music.
So the younger musicians that aren't as far along in their careers.
Get a day job. I'm sorry.
There's truth to
That
that.
seems a little harsh, but in some ways,
Take care of yourself, and having income and having balance in your life and having health, believe me, makes all the difference in the world, especially when you're pushing yourself. And if you can set that hygiene up, where you're being mindful of those things, I think that's the most important. He is
I'm really
holding
sorry.
forth.
I mean, a little bit. Jason, I don't know if you've ever really had a day job beyond the golf course, but the idea that work on your craft. Don't be so focused on chasing a big star or just the spotlight as much as
Get
just
good.
get good, but get good with your heart. Follow your heart in your music. Go
don't
after
compromise, yeah.
what moves you, and you will move others.
Yeah.
Right? To me, that's just the number one. And then hopefully the audience follows. Right? You don't want to just trying to copy what somebody else is doing. We all learn from copying, and I'm not saying that that's not a way to start, but right, you should and study your elders. Study. I'm not just us, but just there's a lot of amazing music out there, and I compare.
And now it's time for our Lifetime Achievement Award. And I can't tell you what a thrill it is to be here today to present this to Connie Calder. I have been a fan of Connie's since I first heard her in the late 70s or early 80s in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And my love for her music has just grown exponentially throughout the years. And I remember being at the Folk Alliance International Conference in, I believe it was Toronto. And it was the first time that I was ever at a folk music concert where there were scalpers selling tickets. Connie had organized that. So she's not only a wonderful musician in her own right, but she's a great promoter of other people as well. I want to thank artist Ken West, who is also the owner of Material Things in this corner of the square, for creating this beautiful award. And I will tell you that I was so afraid of dropping the award. It's a gorgeous glass award. It is sitting here at our Festival Central table, and we will be giving it to Connie at the end of the afternoon. But go take a look at it. He did a wonderful job in creating a very special glass award for her. We do also have a certificate that I do have with me right now. So Connie is the recipient of 3 Juno Awards. That's like the Grammy Award in the United States, as well as the Order of Canada, a Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal recipient, an honorary doctorate of fine arts from the University of Regina in Saskatchewan, and is the first songwriter to receive a Western Literature Association Award of Merit. She's also a TV personality and a women's music pioneer. Her enormous stage presence, her unforgettable melodies, and her emotional depth as a songwriter made her a headline act on the festival circuit and earned her a loyal fan base over the past 45 years. When I first heard her, and ever since, I knew that I was in the presence of a major force in music and a warm and dynamic human being. Through her songs, she can paint pictures of a landscape, the prairie or a river, and at the same time, stir the feelings in your heart through songs such as Wood River. And today's Glass Award recognizes that. She can write a she shanty, a humorous song such as Jerks, as well as songs about women, wishes, and dreams to which all of us can relate. She can make us laugh or cry. She touches us very deeply. The Boston Globe describes her as a masterful performer, wildly funny one moment, deeply personal the next. The Toronto Star said, "Big sky, big impact, big laughs too." That's Connie Calder in a nutshell. Her first album of children's songs received Juno and Parents' Choice Awards. She's also written a cookbook. This is a woman of many, many talents. She's toured China, India, and Europe as a Goodwill musical ambassador from Canada. And she starred in a Christmas special broadcast by Canada's Global Television Network. Originally from Regina, Saskatchewan, she now makes her home in Montreal with her husband and 2 sons who are performers in their own right, as well as appearing with her. We are so happy that her husband, Paul Campagna, and their son, Gab, are here with us today. So Connie, would you come over, please? It is a great honor.
I'm kind of blushing.
To present this award to you today. And as I said, it is a 2-part award. We have this certificate for you.
Oh.
Lifetime Achievement Award, presented to Connie Calder on Sunday, July 21st, 2024, in recognition of her contributions to the music community for 45 years.
Thank you.
And then we also have your Glass Award over here.
Hello.
1, 2, 1, 2. Hello. Can you hear
Bienvenue
me?
to Canada. Welcome from Canada. We've come all the way from Quebec. Well, actually, we came from Saskatchewan, where I'm from. Gabrielle was born in Montreal. Paul was born in Saskatchewan, too. So I had to go home to spawn like the salmon. But
So this is our son.
yes.
Gabrielle.
Paul Campagne, producer of my albums and co-producer of my children.
It was a tough job, but I managed.
Yeah.
You really had the hard part, huh?
I had the hard
And
part.
we have been so well treated here, Carol. I feel like this is a folk community that is so supportive and so wonderful. Only thing is, I know the pressure's on this afternoon because there's so many people that I respect in the audience. So we're gonna have to do good here. We're gonna have to do well. So this is about a waitress in a Husky truck stop. She does everything. She cuts the pies. She makes the milkshake. She's doing it all. If you buy her a dream, she'll follow you anywhere, to any old truck stop that this world might bring. She's a heart held down by this little town. She's looking to find a bird on a wing, bird on a wing, bird on a wing. Knows in her heart she's destined to fly like a bird on a wing, bird on a wing. She's waiting for you to fly by. And she makes a small hole in the frost on the window, and she's looking out past old familiar things, and she lets her mind slip. The small change and the napkins, her heart's looking up for a bird on a wing, bird on a wing, bird on a wing. She knows in her heart she's like a bird on a wing. Bird on a wing, she's waiting for you to fly by. Well, she stacks up the cups and counts up the few tips, while she's humming a tune that a drifter might sing. And she gets to thinking how she's tired of waiting. Maybe she'll be her own bird on a wing. Bird on a wing, bird on a wing. She knows in her heart she's destined to fly like a bird on a wing. Ooh, bird on a wing, she's waiting for you to fly by. She's waiting for you to fly by. Thank you.
I am from Canada. I live in Quebec now, in Montreal, but I'm originally from the prairies, Saskatchewan, which people went to Minot to shop, so that gives you a level of sophistication of where I'm from. Prairie province, exactly like here, if you take away all the people, the trees, the cars, the buildings, the quaint, lovely things, and then you would have Saskatchewan. I filled it up with wheat and coyotes, you'd have Saskatchewan right there.
Okay. I'm just going to raise this a bit.
You're a solo singer-songwriter, a woman in the age when they were telling us, we have our one-woman Zach Story, we already got our one, And it's neat to be at a festival. To be in a new town. I've never been to Woodstock, and Carol is great, and I feel like I'm in the coven, or like that trifecta of wonderful songwriting and support for the kind of music I like.
Yeah, a lot of great talent here.
Yeah. It's the songwriters of the song. I first heard Jerry Jeff Walker on an album of American music from my library, Regina Public Library, and that's where I discovered the Supremes and any of those American songwriter albums kind of thing. But, you've got Ian and Sylvia, those people were coming out. My brother had a guitar, and he listened to the Brothers Four and Ian and Sylvia and all of those artists that came out of that wave of the folk scene. And influenced me. I think theater also, I was in theater, so that influenced me to the kind of songwriting that I did, or what I was inspired to write about. But mostly because I came from Saskatchewan and I was a woman, I was inspired to write the songs that weren't sung. It was like free, there were so many songs and ideas that hadn't been written about. So I suppose that kind of pushed me to get going. And there was a strong folk community, these really big folk festivals in Canada. And a lot of it was, British-based music and French-Canadian music and all of those things. And I think everything that I've heard from Stephen Sondheim to blues acts, to all of that, I had the most wonderful, rich musical education through those folk festivals, because they brought up every kind of music that wasn't just, rock and pop music. Anything else fit that bill. Music from different ethnic cultures, blues music, great blues singers, and music from Peru, and of course great songwriters too. That's just trying to think of songs that would, anybody that writes a great song, I just latched on to whatever they did, and there's a long list of them. I didn't have one or two, and I don't really sound like somebody else as a result of that, I think. Yeah. And I was in theater too. I studied theater, so that was, I was influenced by all of that kind of show tune music and the story songs and writing about from another perspective, not just your own. That idea that you're a character. You could write about somebody else's life, not just your own. My life just wasn't that interesting. So there you go.
Well, speaking of life being interesting, what's been the biggest change for you in the last 5 or so years?
I think the acceleration of what's happened, COVID brought an acceleration of something that was already happening, which is the switch over to more digital music, taking away the, streaming as opposed to album sales and all of that stuff. And I think that's affected because my sons are musicians as well, and I see that as being something they have to get around. When I started out, nobody made their own records, and then that became something I did. So people found a way to get around that, and I think sure it'll happen with this too. But if people can't afford to make music, then they won't be able to do it well. They'll be just doing it in their basement, and there'll still be great songs, but it's like you can access the whole world, but then so can everybody else, and so you get swept up in a wave of things that aren't so special, I think too. But for me, I always thought I'd be coasting by now in my career, and I find that I'm still trying to break down barriers. It isn't for women, it's for older women, it's for people what they expect to see, I don't know what they expect, but it's always that for me, expectations. When I had kids, the expectation, I got kids, you're not going to write about anything but diapers, and all of that stuff. And also, to just challenge yourself as a songwriter and musician. I think that's the long-term thing for every songwriter or musician is to keep being inspired, keep writing, keep trying to get better and better. It's an endless, I look at visual artists, a lot of times it's later in their life. Emily Carr, an artist, she wrote 65 on, she did all her greatest works. And I think for women, it's always trying to balance your life, the things that you have to do, versus this thing that you're driven to do or drawn to do, which is to write or sing. And for me, I'm now singing with my husband, who came from a French-Canadian group and sang with his sisters for many years. And that's changed touring for me, and I'm singing with my sons who are also doing their own thing. And for me, to be able to sing and get family harmony is when I sometimes have both of them sing. I've got one tonight, but that's been a real wondrous thing. And to be able to share that with my family is also wondrously great.
Great. Yeah.
Before presenting the awards, I want to tell you a little bit about this year's All Sing finale. Most of you know that during this finale, we honor people who have passed since last year's festival. And sadly, there are too many people on this list. This year, we have Song Sisters leading the All Sing finale. It's been a hallmark of our festival since 1986. Music is a way of healing, and Robin Lee Garber spoke about this at the workshop today. She spoke very beautifully and showed us through her singing the beauty and the healing power of music. With so much divisiveness and strife in our own country and around the world, music is a way to build community in spite of our differences. Singing brings us together and can be a very powerful force in building bridges among people, cultures, and countries. This year, we dedicate the All Sing to some members of our community who've passed. It's not an all-inclusive list, but it includes Blair Hull, Don Mast, Mike Maxa, Millie Ron, Tom Prasada Rao, Bernice Johnson Regan, Stuart Rosenberg, Happy Trom, Carol Weston, and Heather Wood. And I think Connie will be sharing a song that she wrote in honor of those who've passed, Sad As You're Passing. She'll be doing that at the end of her set as a lead-in to the All Sing finale, which, as I said, will be led by Song Sisters. I'd like to read a short poem that I wrote in honor of the people who have passed. Remember me, a message from a departed friend. A reflection on what our departed friends might tell us after they pass. When the sun rises in the morning, live that day fully, and each moment as if it may be your last. When the wind blows through the trees, feel my spirit and the spirit of God beside you. When you leave your home, tell your family that you love them. When you leave your pet, pat them gently so they know you care. When you say goodbye to a friend, hug them as if it's for the last time. When war and injustice plague the world, renew our fight for peace and freedom. When fear and hate seem to consume the world, give your love to those around you. When you feel sadness, share the joy of our time together with others. When you hear the songs we sang together, Let your heart be full and open it to the world. When the birds chirp and sing, use your voice to speak out for what is right. When the moon rises at night, sing me a song and I will hear you. When the stars shine at night, let my light shine through you. When the waves reach the shore, know that we will be united someday.
It's now our pleasure, because it's the time where we get to sing together, and it's also the time where we get to talk about the incredible community that we are a part of, the folk community of songwriters, organizers, radio people, it's a huge and very varied community. And when you meet somebody through music, there's a different kind of connection, I think, that happens. And so when they are gone, you want to sing. You want to honor them in some way with the way that connected you in the first place. This was a song written for a friend of ours that had died, but was part of our music community. And somehow it just seemed like we just wanted to celebrate what that was, celebrate the life that this person had left and how they were connected to us. And I think that's what this time of songs is about. We've lost many people that we care about in this year. And I know they're just not in the music community, but perhaps you have someone in your life that you miss, that you are glad you knew, that you're glad you were part of their life, that you're glad they were part of yours. So this is our song that we're taking it, we just brought it across. And it has kind of a Celtic feel to it, because there's like the Irish do that lament just better than anybody else. I don't know, there's kind of a bitter sadness in that lovely musical tradition. So I think that's why it worked its way into this song a bit here too. But we want to send it out. There's Bernice Johnson Reagan, I just found out about a couple of days ago, someone who was just an extraordinary voice. We got to see her in Canada because she'd come and play the festivals, and she was always, I do workshops with her. It's just, I was in awe of her, just who she was, her just great voice, great songs, and great presence. And so I think for me personally, I like to send this out in memory of her and what an extraordinary woman she was in our scene, and just such an inspiration. Sad is your passing, but your living was grand. How you played and you sang along with the band. How you loved to go dancing, you were light on the floor. You were always the last one out of the door. Sad is your passing, but your living was grand. How you made someone's life just by taking their hand. How you took all your troubles and you made them work out. 'Cause you knew that joy was what life's all about. Ooh, ooh. Sad is your passing, but your living was grand. You were dear to us all, and that's why we stand. And we'll raise up a glass of our favorite brew and toast all the things that we loved about you. And all of those things would make a long list. Sad is your passing, you will be missed.
Here. So I'd like to introduce this first song. We are Song Sisters, in case you weren't here before. Sue Fink, Patty Schaffner, Amy Dixon Kohler. And we opened, and now we're closing. This is a song by Carrie Newcomer. How many of you know Carrie Newcomer out there? All right. So Carrie originally was from Dowagiac, Michigan, but she's a Hoosier now, and so am I. And so this is one of her songs that is off of, Well, now I'm not sure. I was going to say Gathering Spirits, but it's not that album.
But it's one of her songs.
It's one of her songs, and it's
yeah.
called Lean In Toward the Light. And so we are looking forward to having you sing with us.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Winter is the oldest season, but quietly beneath the snow, seeds are stretching out and reaching, faithful as the morning glow. Carry nothing but what you must, lean it toward the light. Let it go, shake off the dust. Lead it toward the light. Today is now, tomorrow beckons. Lead it toward the light. Keep practicing resurrection. Lead it toward the light. The shadows of this world will say, there's no hope, why try anyway? But every kindness, large or slight, shifts the balance toward the light.
Waters wind and open wide.
Lean it toward the light.
Don't just walk when you can fly.
Lean it toward the light.
When justice seems in short supply.
Lean it toward the light.
Let beauty be your truest guide.
Lean it toward the light. The shadows of this world will say, there's no hope, why try anyway? But every kindness, large or slight, shifts the balance toward the light.
Prayer I prayed eventide,
lean it toward the light.
All left undone be put aside,
lean it toward the light.
When forgiveness is hard to find,
lean it toward the light.
Help me at least to be kind,
lean it toward the light. The shadows of this world will say, there's no hope, why try anyway? But every kindness, large or slight, shifts the balance toward the light. Ooh, lean it 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 toward the light. Lean it toward the light. Lean it toward the light. Thank you.
Thank you to all the performers. Wonderful here. Thank you to you for joining in. Thanks to everybody who helped put the festival together. On your way out, please pick up your trash and get it to the garbage cans. Make this a nice place so we can come back. Mark your calendars for July 20th, 2025, the 40th anniversary of this here festival. We'll see you then. Good night, everybody.